welcome back. So today's video is another makeup tutorial. I wanted to sit down and do another cut crease for you guys because as if I don't do enough of them already, I'm obsessed with cut creases. And I just wanted to use the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette because I've had this sitting in my collection for a little while, but I just haven't gotten around to filming with it yet. So I just figured I would sit down and do that today for you guys. So I really hope that you guys like this tutorial. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up because it would really help me out. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on notifications so you can see anytime that I upload a video. I hope you guys like my background as well. I really like it. I'm really happy with it. I just think it looks, I don't know, I just think it looks good. Anyway, we're just going to jump straight into this tutorial. Hope you guys like it and I'll see you in my next one. So as usual, going in with the soft ochre paint pot from MAC, applying this with the E43 brush from Sigma and just blending it out with my fingertip to make sure it's really smooth. And then you guys just see me going in with some tape so we get a super crisp line with the eyeshadows later on. And I'm just trying to get it like super even because sometimes I don't get it even and my eyes end up really wonky. So today we're using the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. I'm first taking the shade Bay on my E40 brush from Sigma and using that to set the eyelid, and then going in with our first transition shade, which is Sandalwood. So I'm taking that on my same, Sigma E40 brush and just blending that into the crease and building up that color, dipping back in a few times to build up the pigmentation. And then we are dipping into the shade Henna, which is my personal fave from the palette. It's just such a nice warm color. I'm using my E45 from Sigma to blend that more precisely into the crease, and then we're going back in with the E40 from Sigma to make sure everything is really seamlessly blended. And you guys just see me going back in with this technique a few times to build up the pigmentation and get it to how I wanted it to look. I then decided to take Henna again on that same brush, and I'm just building this up on the outer corner of the eye just to create a little bit more depth and make things a little bit more interesting. So I just used that same E45 and then I went back in with the E40 just to lightly blend everything and make sure it was seamlessly diffused. Then taking the shade Bossy, which is like a nice magenta purple sort of hue, I'm just taking that on my E45 again. You guys will see I'm using pretty much the same brushes. So placing that precisely into the crease, and then I'm just going back in with the E40 just to diffuse everything and blend it out. And you guys see me going back in and doing this a few more times to build up the pigmentation. Again, packing it on the outer corner and blending it as well. I'm then taking the shade Cocoa on that same E45 brush, but this time we're just building this up in the outer corner and slightly into the crease. So not too much, mostly focusing on the outer corner and then just a tiny little bit of blending to make sure it's like diffused nicely. And then I'm going in with my Sigma E38 to lightly blend that out. So we're keeping this more precise to the outer corner of the eye. Then going in and I'm cutting that crease. I only want to do like a half cut crease type of look today, so I'm just placing a little bit of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Light on the inner corner of the eye, and then I'm using my Sigma E75. It's a brow brush, but I really like it for like precision and crease sort of work as well. And I'm essentially just blending out that concealer and making sure it's nicely diffused. And then taking a mix of Henna and Bossy on my Sigma E25 brush, I'm using this to blend the outer corner of that concealer to make sure it like blends really nicely. I'm then packing on this primer onto the area that we just put the concealer. One of my subscribers told me to do this and it works so well as a glitter glue. And I'm then just mixing the shades Trust Fund and Blessed, using my finger to apply these where we just place that primer, and it honestly makes them stick on so well and show up really vibrant. And then I just took a small little brush to make sure that the edges of the cut crease were still really nicely defined. Then going in with the Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper, which is just black. And I'm just basically doing a big ass wing as I usually do, and then removing the tape, and as you guys can see it just helps so much with wing liner and getting the eyeshadow crisp. And then I just applied these Huda Beauty lashes in the style Scarlet. I love these for dramatic looks. Then we're just moving on to the face. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the shade Beige. I've been loving this foundation lately, especially when I wear like a really hydrating moisturizer or oil on my skin before applying it. It just blends out so beautifully. Like I said, I do have a video coming, like a second impression, showing you guys how I like to wear it now. So that will be coming very soon to my channel. But you guys just see me going in with my Sigma 3D HD blender and just blending this and pushing it into my skin. Then to conceal my dark circles, I'm just using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium. I'm just applying that straight to the skin, not using too much because I don't want to have like too much cake under my eyes for once, I know. And I'm just using the 3D HD blender to blend that out. I then took the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit in the shade Light. I'm just taking the lightest shade from the palette and using my Sigma F75 brush to apply this to the outer corners of my cheekbones, so like the highest point of my face, just to accentuate them, and then using the blender to blend that out. And then taking the lightest shade in the contour section and using my Sigma F61 to apply the contour to my face, and then just going back in with that blending sponge to blend everything out seamlessly. Then to set underneath my eyes, as per usual, I am using my Sigma F35 brush and my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I'm obsessed with this, I don't use anything else. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm using the translucent powder from Laura Mercier on my Sigma F25 brush. I keep forgetting to mention at the start of my videos that I do have a Sigma code. It's just Kasey Rayton for 10% off, so you guys can use that if you wish. And then I'm just going in and setting like the contoured areas of my face. So sometimes it can kind of fade off when you go in with like translucent powder. So we're just kind of redefining everything. I'm using the Anastasia Powder Contour Kit, just taking the shade Fawn and using that to contour. And this is the Sigma F05 brush. And then I'm taking the warmest shade in the palette on my Sigma F10 brush and just using that to bronze up the face, add a little bit more warmth and color to the skin. I then went ahead and highlighted the shiznit out of my face. I am using my Sigma F06 brush to apply this highlight, and this is one of the new Lime Crime highlight palettes that it came out with. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like duochromes and coloured sort of highlighting shades. It's really pretty, it just wasn't showing up too well on camera. And then going in with my MAC Warm Soul Blush. I love this. I didn't really want to have too much of a pink cheek, I just wanted like a general glow and warmth. And I'm just using my Sigma F40 brush to apply this to my cheeks. Then to lay everything down and make sure it meshes together, I'm just spraying my face with some Fix Plus and then jumping back into the eyes. So we're just using the shade Sandalwood again on my Sigma E39 brush, just essentially buffing this along the lower lash line and getting like a nice diffused color. Then going in with the shade Henna, and I'm taking that on my Sigma E30 pencil brush and lining this just a little bit more precisely towards the outer corner of the eye. And then I'm going back in with that same Sigma E39 brush to blend everything out and make sure it's nicely diffused. And I did do this a couple of times just to build up the pigmentation. I then took the shade Cocoa on this tiny little brush. I used this earlier to do like my eyelid shade and stuff, so I will leave it listed down below because I just can't remember the name. But essentially I'm just packing this even more closely to like the lower lash line, and then going back in with that E39 brush to blend everything out. So pretty much just the same shades as the lid. We're just kind of diffusing them and melting them all together on the lower lash line. I then took the shade Moon Dust on that teeny tiny little brush and just applied that into the inner corner. And then I decided to mix this gold and white BH Cosmetics glitters and apply that into the inner corner. I just used that same MAC primer as like a glitter glue. And yeah, I just think it turned out really, really pretty. So that is the finished eye look. Then to finish off the face, I went in with this Huda Beauty Liquid Lipstick. I can't remember the shade name. I think this is Bombshell, but I'll leave it listed down below because it came in like a little minis kit that I bought. So I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's Bombshell. Like I said, everything will be listed down below for you guys. But that is pretty much it. Just to set my face, I use my Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray. You guys can use Kasey to get 30% off. But that is it for this tutorial, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next one. HUDA. Already fucked it up. This one. Freeze. Oh, how do I keep fucking this up? Today we straight into. Oh, what the fucking hell?